Alright everybody, my name's Ron, welcome to the channel. So first of all, I was asked to do a video on what contributions I have put forth towards manhood in reference to what Andrew Tate, the Tater Tot, has put out. So, first of all, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to be like, oh, here's a statistical chart of everything that I put in and my contributions and all that, because that doesn't prove absolutely anything. You can have all the money in the world and still be the worst role model you can possibly be. So, we're going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about what I've done in my personal contributions in my life that have helped out people significantly, okay? I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of people. I'm just going to use one example from my work industry and one example from my day-to-day life, okay? So, I'll start with the day-to-day life, okay, because this one was a big one, and I actually talked to this gentleman for another 2 years after the fact and watched him pick himself up from where he was at, and all it started with was just a general gesture from me to him. So I lived in Las Vegas for a while, and at the time I was in an electrical career. I was an electrician. I did residential, I did commercial, I did rough wiring residential, and I've also done industrial. I've seen some of the biggest laundromats ever. Whoa! I've done motor controls on switches and all that fun stuff. So, I was taken off one day and I was on my way to go buy some new work boots. At the time, I had some old, what are they? They're the jungle boot, the military issue jungle boot. I believe it's called the Panama boot. I had those and I used to work in construction with those and I absolutely loved them. But they were wearing out and I needed something new. So I was on my way to go buy a brand new pair. So I went and did that. But on my way, I just so happened to see a homeless guy that had a sign out, and it was a sign that I had never seen before. It didn't say, I need money or anything like that. It said, I need necessities. And the first thing I noticed was the man was barefoot. Didn't even have a pair of socks. I had always passed by this guy. I had never really had the chance to see a sign or nothing like that, but I went ahead and passed by just to do it. So, as I'm passing by the way, my other contribution is I will be the first one to say that nicotine is not good for anyone. I need to quit. Bingo. And I'll drill that every time, okay? So, anyway, back to the story. I'm taking off. I'm on my way to the surplus store because they're military issue, and I always like military boots. They just happen to last a lot longer, okay? Comfort's always up in the air for people. But I pull my boots off, okay? And I roll down my window, and I look at the guy, and I was like, hey, man, where's your shoes? And he's like, I don't have any. That's why my sign says what it says. I was like, okay, well, here. I don't know what size you wear, but these are my old boots. They still have half the tread on them. I just can't use them anymore because I work electrical and I did do dry utilities and underground, so you have to work with mud. And it's just not that great when you're working with mud with a half tread Panama boot. So I was going to get new boots. So I give these boots to this gentleman. He looks at me with this look like, man, I wish I can have something better, but I am honestly so grateful for what you gave me. Couple of days later, I went and had a conversation with the man, and I went and talked to him, and I gave him a couple of pieces of advice on how to go search for employment and exactly what to do, and then just go out and be like, I'm here to learn, and this is what I know. I sat down for about 5 minutes with that guy and wrote out how to start in the electrical industry. The last time I talked to him, he was an apprentice in the union in Las Vegas, Nevada, for electrical. Okay? So there's one. Second one, also electrical related, happened to be on job sites, okay? I was working a job where we were doing an animal hospital, okay? Now, animal hospitals are great. I love building animal hospitals. The electrical detail required in an animal hospital is awesome, okay? Kind of the equivalent of a normal hospital for people like you and me. So, when it comes to this particular job, I was given a company truck from the owner of the company, and I was put in charge of the job completely. If anything went wrong with the job, it was me that took the fall. No one else. It didn't matter who was working on it with me, it was me that took the fall. So, I manned up, I took the job, and then he goes, wait, I got something else. So I'm like, okay. So he tells me flat out, I want you to train this apprentice. He is absolutely green. And that was our term for somebody who don't know nothing. Green as a blade of grass. Okay? So I'm doing all this, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So the first thing that involved in this job was to go ahead and gut the building, which we did. Then we had to run all of our piping and all of our, not Romex, it's called MC cable. It's actually a 3-conductor, it's considered a 3-conductor metal sheath form of Romex, and it's used in the commercial industry. So we had to run that, we had to run pipe, we had to pull wire. Okay, anybody who knows anything about electrical, that can get really confusing, okay? Now, over the course of this job, not only did I take this person who knew absolutely nothing from basically, to the point where he can pass his journeyman's test. Like, literally. In not even a year. Okay? It's not hard to do electrical. I don't care what anybody tells you. What's hard is determining whether you have the capability to do it or not. That's the hardest part. Okay? So in the course of 6 or 7 months, I'm going to say, I'm not going to put a quotation on that because I honestly don't know exactly how long the job lasted if I were to do it from beginning to end nonstop, because I did have to take a couple breaks and go to other jobs because I was a very vital person in the company. So I took this kid from absolutely nothing in less than a year, taught him how to be a journeyman and how to move forward with a respectful, honorable trade skill that he can apply in the future. And I also told him, the number one thing you want to make sure of is you don't want to be cocky. The last thing you want to do as a man is try and boast, okay? I believe it was Bruce Lee that said, if I come off too cocky, you'll think I'm boasting. But if I don't show enough, you'll think I'm full of it. So, with that being said, I hope that answered your questions and gave you some insight. I'll be happy to make more of these videos. I've got the time. I've got a life, as you can see. I'm in my vehicle, which I'm going to make a video about that too. On the vehicle I picked, why I felt I didn't need anything else for my particular life and how I treat it in my life. All right? So, like always, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like on it, smash that subscribe button, and kick the bell out the window on your way out, and make sure it's not there the next time you get to my channel, because you always want to be notified when I've got new videos. All right? I'll see you later.